What does enough mean to you? When do you get there if your desires keep growing? I keep reaching for bigger and bolder goals all the time. I will never reach them all because they constantly evolve with me. My contentment, though, lies in myself, not my accomplishments. I don't feel like I need to be or do enough. A third of Americans reported that they are dissatisfied with life. That's over 100 million unhappy people. The majority of people reported that they feel they are lacking or not good enough. What is this pervasive belief that so many of us are experiencing? What does it mean, and why are we believing it? What does being enough mean to you? I would encourage you to really examine this question. In fact, take time today and sit down with a pen and paper and write out what being enough means to you. If your answers are far-reaching, improbable, or even impossible, I would ask you to re-examine and question this concept of being enough. You know what? I don't buy it. I don't believe in it. And you don't have to either. For me, I have dropped the idea that I need to be enough. I have allowed myself to just be where I am. Let me tell you, there is a deep peace, contentment, and serenity in giving yourself permission to be where you are without judging where you are. Trying to be enough is all about judgment, and I don't need a scale of not being good enough or more than enough to define me. When you are raised with positive and negative reward systems, you often end up with this need to feel good enough. We are human beings and we fail constantly, which is how we learn. So we end up believing that we are lesser than. In the end, our domestication taught us that we are not good enough, which is a complete lie. There doesn't have to be a scale that you measure yourself with at all. By removing the scale and no longer concerning myself with being good enough or not good enough, I now experience more contentment in my life. I find it easier to be more present and engaged. I am allowed to be when, where, and how I am in this moment. And that is freaking glorious and incredibly freeing. I don't need to convince myself I'm enough. I threw that scale in the garbage a long time ago. And I freed myself by not using it against myself any longer.